Hi and welcome to VFX Tutors. I'm Josh and in this tutorial we're going to be continuing with UVing our chainsword. So in the previous tutorial we UV'd, let's just turn our default material off. We UV'd these two bars and we also set these up in the UV editor that they're actually above, and we flipped them. But we didn't move them, so these can be flipped back to the exact duplicates. So you can reuse textures. So I'm just going to go through. So if I just select my, we can look at because we've got the texture on it, we can see actually how messed up all our UVs are. And yes, basically it is what it is and you have to fix it. So I'm just going to go through and hide things that we don't really need to look at. So we've done that. Well, we don't need the curves. And we've done the bars, so I'm just going to hide those. And the duplicates we'll do last. So the next thing will be just doing this blade. So we can see it's pretty messed up. So if we just look at it now, the first thing that we can sort of see there's that it's pretty screwed up. So what we can do is go to UV. I'd say that the chances are we might actually have to add some supporting edges on this because it's actually quite low poly. So what I'll do is if I select that edge, go to my modeling toolkit. If I just select bevel, ooh, no, and I've just beveled it so it's added an extra one in there. Cool. So now I need to delete my history. So hopefully that should give us a bit more. See how these edges aren't. That one's still moving quite a bit, but. Well, if we need to add more, we'll add more. So I'm just going to go to my UV and straight away delete my UVs, select my model again, UV and camera based. So now that's projected from this position of the perspective camera. In some cases this may even be fine because you're not really going to see it and you just need some UVs on it quickly, but we can see that it's not following the curve. It's kind of flat, so if we did add the sort of like the stainless steel grain, it would just be going straight and eventually come off. So effectively it does need to curve with it. So I'm just going to go back to my default material so I can see it easier. And if I just press 1 so I can see all the edges. And I'm just going to go around and select all the edges I want to make seams. So I'm going to select these edges and I'm going to have that as a, yes, that should be alright. That will attach to that. There's probably something down here that we need to chop. So I'm going to select that. You do kind of want to something has happened here. Why that has done that? Very weird. And why is that? Has done that? Let's just quickly fix it. Cool. Yeah, don't know why that did that, but anyway. Let's go back to our edges. That's kind of not correct, is it? Yes. Let's check our vertex faces. Always use vertex. Vertex face is really useful for seeing if there's any accidental extrusions. That's all good. Cool. Let's go back to selecting our edges again. So I'm just going to select all of these. I'll have the seam going across the top. I just need to do this bottom bit. So now if I just go to my UV toolkit and select cut, you can now see it's made seams. If I go to my UV editor, UV shell Control U, that's now unwrapped it. If I turn my default material off, I can now see it's obviously rotated funny, so let's orientate the shells. And we can see that's flipped over because that's one. It's all one piece, so let's not worry too much about that. Now if you press 3, it's all looking good. So now the next thing we need to do is put in our textile density. So transform. It should keep the original one from where you're on, where you previously did it. So I'll just click set. We can actually see it's a little bit big. So I'm actually going to scale this slightly so it fits. And I'm only going to really do this for sort of things that aren't key to the sort of, like the side of the bar is the most important thing, I think, because it's the most you'll see. So what I will do is actually cut these off as well at the ends and have them at 2 separate pieces. So just cut. And I can just Control U. I can just straighten this out here. I can leave this here for now. And I'll bring you over here as well. If I Control U, that should slightly change it. And we can see that's nicely following the curve of the blade now. So we can see we've got these sort of curved edges here, which we don't really want. So if we flick between them, we don't. Let's see if we can zoom right in on that. So here, you see it's sort of flicking up. So what we want to do, we want to go to our attributes editor. I'll just minimize that. If I go to my geo shape, and in smooth mesh, you'll have your open subdiv controls, and you can change my Catmull Clark to preserve edge and corners. And you can see now that's sharpened it up. So now when you press between 1 and 3, it makes no difference. Cool. So now the next thing would be to do is I'm going to put these in my so-called waiting room. And I'm going to unhide my ones that I've previously done. And I'm just going to find a home for them. So they should take up the whole bottom. Here. Should be a very tight fit. I want to make sure that it's well within the UDIM space. Cool. So we have now done. We have slightly scaled up our UVs on that, but I don't think it will matter so much because we've already got such a huge amount of textile density for this for some really nice detail. Because it's our longest part, basically. We want our biggest bit to be the best, right? So cool. So we're pretty much done for this section. Yeah, so if I just hide what we've done, and we can start moving on to some other bits. So if you've enjoyed this tutorial, hit that like button and subscribe for more like this.